inhabit that space. But I always felt this imposture. So it became and grew, and then I thought, no, I'm made to do. I'm here to do things in little spaces, rooms, and that's what I prefer. I like to do a sort of, to develop things and rehearsals with people, a little bit like in theater, but which is the case of this film too. We worked a lot. Just think of the elevator sequence. It was for me, for Ventura, for all five of us, a sort of lab. We shot this, it took 2 months to shoot. It took a little bit to build, because this is not a real thing. It's in a garage that one of us had, and we bought these things and we built them. And then we started rehearsing and shooting for 2 months. So it's like that. I need this interior space, this more inner approach. I don't know.
Other questions? Yes, there's someone here.
Hi, I'm here. Thank you so much. That was really incredible to rewatch. This felt like the film where the revolution in Portugal felt most explicit, and in some ways it felt like a kind of anti-war film. I don't know if you would be okay with accepting that, with sort of like the aftermath of a failed war and the remaining war. And right now in Chicago, there's tons of anti-war encampments, and there's this question about whether film can truly be anti-war, whether it can represent war without just like sort of fetishizing war further. So I was just curious what you think about whether film in the 21st century can be really anti-war, and how. I know that's a big question, I'm sorry.
Have an opinion, Jonathan? I'll start by saying something that just came to me. All the anti-war films that exist, I hate them. Most of them. And they are American, but it's the worst films by any filmmakers. I don't want to name names, because there are filmmakers that I love and that were my formation. They are all American, most of them. There are some Italians that are also very bad. In general, I'm thinking it's always made, they are made,
Well, I'm remembering, I had an opportunity before I came to Chicago to go to see Full Metal Jacket with Sam Fuller. And at the end of the film, he said he didn't like it. And he said if he wasn't with me and another friend, he would have left the film. And I said, well, what do you object to? And he said, it's a goddamn recruiting film.
Yeah, and that danger, this is, when you're doing an anti-thing, there's always the danger with soldiers and things like that, and guns. There's always the danger of the fascination of violence. Fascination is something very, very crucial, and for cinema, it's also one of the biggest sins, let's say, almost. So you have to be very careful. If you're a filmmaker, you have to be careful with those kind of things. You get fascinated with your, I don't know. I could say some things, but I don't know if they are very interesting. Yesterday I had a screening of another film that I did about this couple of filmmakers, Jean-Marie Straub and Daniel Huillet, who were, it was a life devoted to revolution, let's say, utopia, in their lives too, in film, and their practical, their real personal lives. They lived the way they was preached, or they were true resistance, let's say, or people that were constantly revolting in rebellion with everything. They were always on the right side, let's say. That's the way they lived. I was going to say that's a good way to live. I don't know if I can or you. It's a big, big effort. It's work. It's conviction. They had very strong political convictions too, but they had the poetics too. They had, and they used to. Just yesterday I saw a little bit of the film I made, and where they are the main actors, and at the end of the film, Jean-Marie Strauss says something very beautiful. He says. Because the end of one of their films called Sicilia, they end the film with a kind of, I don't know if you know the film, but it's a dialogue between two characters that meet in the square in Italy and they talk. It's a poetic, surreal dialogue, very beautiful. And they talk about the world. They make a list of all the beautiful things that we have in this world. Everything, dogs and food and everything. It's very, very beautiful. And in the end, one of them says, but we lack knives and scissors and cannons and dynamite. And then Jean-Marie says, in a comment to this scene that comes from a novel, Italian novel by Elio Vittorini, an Italian communist from the 40s, 50s writer. He says, after this call to violence, I decided to have this music, this very mellow music by Beethoven. It's a very piece, a very beautiful mellow thing, because even if I think that some violence is needed to repair the world, we have to first change something through music, through us, something. Well, I don't know. You saw the film, so it's contradictory, but that's what I also feel, that this world is a bit broken or completely broken, and but I'm not sure if film is, or cinema is, it's not being anti-war or pro-war or anti-Jews or pro-Palestinians or...
One thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have